Justice, well, 25 years in prison. Remember this? Susan Lorincz, who decided to shoot a woman in cold blood right in front of her doorstep, put up the picture full mask, has now been sentenced. This is an update over a year after 4 Black kids lost their mother to a shooting stemming from a neighborhood feud. Susan Lorincz, who fired that fatal bullet, is finally facing her punishment for that heartbreaking incident. In the sentencing hearing, a judge ordered the 60-year-old to serve 25 years in prison. She was convicted of manslaughter by an all-white jury after fatally shooting the 35-year-old Ajike Owens, following a dispute over Owens' children playing outside. Now, I'm going to give you a reminder of the case, but if you remember, it took damn near a move of Congress to get her arrested. The sheriff seemed to be reluctant to do so in the beginning. And there was evidence that she also abused the children prior to killing the mother. Mm-hmm. Police said on June 2023, Owens knocked on the door of Susan Lorincz. There was a front door. After her children accused the woman of throwing a pair of roller skates at them and yelling racial slurs. According to police records, the two consistently called 911 on one another over the past year. Susan Lorincz often accusing Owens' children of trespassing or playing loudly, and Owens accusing the woman of acting inappropriately. That evening marked the permanent end of their feud. Police said Susan Lorincz fired a shot from her shotgun behind the door, striking Owens in the chest, and she died from injuries. In her initial argument to the police, per surveillance and body camera footage, Susan Lorincz hysterically explained how she was in fear of her life, alleging Owens threatened to kill her. However, one officer testified at the trial that they believed she was faking the duress. Lorincz public defender, Amanda Sizemore, asked the court Monday for a lenient sentence, putting forth mitigating evidence, including the mental health condition of Susan Lorincz, post-traumatic stress disorder linked to childhood sex abuse, and a number of health issues per the New York Times. Still, Circuit Judge Robert Hodges sentenced her to just 5 years short of the maximum sentence she faced. The maximum would have been 30 years. She was given 25. Quote, "I find the shooting was completely unnecessary," said the judge per ABC News. Lorincz didn't take the stand, but did offer an apology to Owens' family. Quote, "I am sorry I took Owens' life. I never intended to kill her. I could not understand why she was so angry. I wish I could go back and change things so she was still here. I would trade my life," she said, per the Times. You know, the irony of that. I want you to look at a couple of things. One, she still manages to blame the deceased. Mm-hmm. She manages to blame the deceased. She says, I don't know why she was so angry. And then she says, "I didn't mean to kill her." When you pull a shotgun trigger and shoot someone point blank in front of you through a thin barrier, let's call it a door, you knew or should have known that would likely cause death. And that's it. So even in your apology, you lie and you still find a way to blame the person you killed. Ma'am, that judge should have went ahead and added them damn 5 years on there just for that. All right, so here's the thing. She's going to die in prison. I don't think she's going to make it out alive. And so in a way, she has traded her life, just as she said she would like to do. Thoughts?
I just wish, I don't know what to say, Doc, because you obviously she got, I mean, a light sentence considering that she took the life of a person over literally nothing.
Yeah.
But it's so much deeper than that. And I find it really disgusting that the defense would argue some kind of like her past and being traumatized and sexual abuse. And you're like, yeah, get in line. I mean, like, I'm like,
Right.
okay, but a lot of us don't murder people we get into fights with. There's something deeper here, right? And that what's deeper is racism. What's deeper is resentment. What's deeper is so many of the wounds that this country has yet to heal. And so many of the lessons from people who have been mainlining Fox News and right-wing outlets to tell them to be fearful of one another, to be fearful of Black Americans, to be fearful of immigrants, to be fearful of Palestinians and Muslims, and it has led them to attack, harass, and assault. You know, again, whether or not gleefully so, meaning they might not be militias and white nationalists, or sort of passively, I had to do this because your very existence seemed threatening to me. The very existence of your children literally living their lives and playing threatened me. I mean, there's just, I hope, like, I don't hope to lock this woman up and throw away the key. I hope for to like parade her around and talk to other white people and be like, yeah, don't end up like me. Here's how it happened. You know what I'm saying, Doc? Like, that's the kind of thing that I think we need because I mean, this happens all the time. It happens all the time in this country.
Yeah, and you're right. The motive was racism. I mean, look at what she did to the children. I don't believe the children lied about her yelling a racial slur. That's motive. Her motive is her own bias. It doesn't have to be cause and effect like people assume motive must be. Sometimes it's just the effect. The effect is she is an indoctrinated racist.
Right.
And that effect alone creates the other effect that you see, which is now murder and a person who will spend the rest of their lives virtually behind bars.